Hey, in this video, we are going to talk about how we factor and solve a quadratic. So what you're going to notice is right now I have a older problem from the factoring unit up, and all I'm going to do to change it from that past unit to this unit is I'm going to get rid of this and just change that to solve. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to slap equals 0 onto this. Actually, I take it back. Let's make this a little bit more difficult. Now, as I start changing this problem, what you need to be aware of, I need to stop talking for a second, is that for anything to work, our equation has to be equal to 0. We'll deal with that in just a second. But what the problems we are doing is you need to factor and then you need to solve. So if you already know how to factor, most of this video is going to be review for you because it's going to be me talking about how to factor. If you don't know how to factor, you need to start asking questions and practicing more, especially outside of class. Get help outside of your class hours because that is the first step in how we factor and solve. Now for this problem, I'm going out of my way to make things difficult. My equation's not equal to 0. The first thing I'm going to do is make this equation equal to 0. I'm going to do this by subtracting 5 from both sides of my equation. And from here, make sure I combine my like terms. Awesome. Now I'm going to start factoring. My A, B, and C value are as listed, and AC is negative 15. And so what I am looking for is I'm looking for the numbers that multiply together to give me negative 15 and add together to give me a positive 2. Now I'm going to talk about this a little bit differently, especially if you are somebody who struggles with like hey, how do I know what signs are supposed to go to what numbers in this step? In order for me to get a negative 15, one number has to be positive, one number has to be negative. I don't know which one yet. So I'm going to choose to make the smaller numbers negative. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my factors again and I'm going to flip the signs. The benefit to showing this extra work is it shows every possibility. You don't have to sit there and go, okay, wait, what is negative 3 plus 5? Or it should be 5 plus negative 3. Like all of that is laid out right in front of you. And then we can go through and we can start adding these things together. Negative 1 plus 15, 14. Don't want that. That also means I don't want this combination here. Then I would look negative 3 plus 5. That equals 2. Cool. That is what I want. So the numbers I'm about to use are negative 3 and 5. And as I rewrite my original problem, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to include whatever letter was with my B term. Right now it's an X. That's why negative 3 and 5 became negative 3x and 5x. From here, I'm going to find my GCF. All right, my GCF is a 1x and a 5. My leftovers are 1x and 3. And my signs are going to drop like that. So right now I have factored my trinomial, I've factored my quadratic, I've factored my polynomial. I haven't actually solved it yet. At the beginning of this problem, we had our thing equal to 0, and then I immediately ignored it. Now I'm going to bring it back. And from here, I now have two things being multiplied together. Their answer, their product is 0. So now I get to solve this using ZPP. I'm going to set those two pieces equal to 0. Now, one thing I need to point out, I am dropping that 1 from my factor step to my solving step. I show that 1 there so that when we are finding the GCF and we're factoring, it is easier for you, the viewer, to track my work. When I'm solving, the 1 just is cumbersome. It gets in the way. That is why you see me no longer writing it. Anyway, I would solve both of these equations. You are making sure always to show all of your work as you do this. And my solutions happen at -5 and +3. These two things down here are my answers. Okay, I have one more problem. I want you to solve this. I want you to find the solutions. I want you to find the x-intercepts. The first step is going to be to factor. So I'm looking for what numbers multiply to 24 and add to -11. Using my factor chart, I would get those 4 pairs. Again, I think it's helpful. I'm going to write out all the other versions. Now, because this number is positive, right, that means I either had 2 positive numbers or 2 negative numbers. And again, I go through and I just start checking to see, okay, cool, 1 plus 24 is 25. It's not those two guys. 2 plus 12 is 14. It's not going to be these guys. And I can cross off the negatives because the only thing that's going to change is the sign, right? -2 plus -12 is going to almost be the same as 2 plus 12. It's positive or -14. And I bring that up because when I add 3 and 8 together, I get 11. But I don't want 11. I want -11. That means I can stop, and it's going to be these two numbers right here. So I'm going to rewrite this. All right, now my GCF here is 1x, and my GCF here is 2. All right, so I have 1x and 2, and then what were my leftovers? 4x and 3, 4x and 3. And again, my signs would drop. Now, I want you to notice as I'm factoring and solving, I am immediately ignoring the equals 0. It now comes back. We don't really need it for when we factor. It's not doing anything. We always need to make sure that before we do any of this, like my equation's equal to 0. If my equation is not equal to 0, and let's say, I got down here and I don't know, it's 7. Cool, I'm going to have to go back and redo this entire problem because that 7 needs to be brought over to the other side before I can do anything. Anyway, then I have two pieces multiplied together. Their product is 0. I can solve with ZPP. I should show my work. Okay, so there are my solutions. X is 2 and x is 3/4 or 0.75. It's all the same to me. This is how I would factor and solve or find my x-intercepts. Again, the most important thing you can be practicing to help you with this is the factoring portion. If you can't factor, you have a bunch of questions over older stuff that's not really being addressed in this video. Anyway, as you're practicing, please make sure to reach out with any questions that you have.